Bucharest, 24 July, 1977. Plato, Greek philosopher, silver white, with a triangle on the forehead. Layer 6. We ask the blessing of the Heavenly Father to speak with the great philosopher of ancient Greece, Plato. Veronica. The path of light has opened. I can distinguish two men. One is Callimnus, the Egyptian priest. The other is our guest. Both are dressed in white Roman-style garments. They are speaking quietly with one another. Now Callimnus wishes to speak. Callimnus, and of the infinite depth in the name of the one through whom you have called us. I, Callimnus, your old friend, the ancient Egyptian, has been appointed to accompany your guest, so that your confidence may be strengthened in the greatness of his thought and in what he is about to tell you. He is an enlightened counselor. He is a brilliant beacon among the great sages who once walked your planet. I now give him the floor. I thanked Callimnus and greeted them. Veronica. Although Plato has a serious appearance, his face is gentle, his features are full of beauty, full of peace, and his eyes overflow with kindness. Plato. My beloved friends, I thank you for directing your desire toward the one who sees everything, who approved our union and our meeting. Those who love one another through the elevations of knowledge are never separated by distance. Space itself becomes powerless. It was not difficult at all for me to look toward you, and toward everyone who strives for the same understanding, the same longing to know. Shared aspirations, whether born in the light or among those possessed by darkness, draw one another together. They unite. They perfect one another, charging the worker with the very thing he works upon. When I lived, as you now live, upon this small globe, even as a little child, day after day, hour after hour, year after year, I searched, I meditated, I even became angry with the one who had locked away those gigantic heights toward which I felt such an overwhelming attraction. You know something about poor Plato, old Plato, but no one ever knew his inner struggles, his ascents, his falls, because it is exceedingly difficult to speak honestly about oneself. I allowed a few fragments of myself to slip onto paper and into the hearts of my beloved friends. Yet I always withdrew again into my own thoughts, believing that not even my closest companions could truly understand them. Now, seeing the beauty of colors, of forms, of music, and of the exalted realms in which I now dwell, I feel sorrow for those who, just as I once failed, cannot yet rise to the level of knowledge where the great secrets are kept, the very secrets that hold the key to truth. It was not enough simply to feel the calling. I did not know how to rise fully to the level demanded by that calling, and today I regret it. True philosophy is the ascent of thought. Yet one cannot truly ascend until reaching the purity of the forms, the colors, and the music of the world that surrounds us. Human language cannot describe these realities, however hard one tries. Thought itself cannot be touched, and truth is difficult to penetrate. Still, I repeat, every philosopher, every genuine seeker is responsible for his own ascent, for penetrating the very heart of the harmonies hidden within forms and colors. To avoid distorting them, great effort is required from the seeker himself. What can I possibly tell you? There is so much beyond comprehension within these immense beauties that they cannot be divided, cannot be shaped, cannot be enclosed within words. George, would you tell us the state in which you now live? Plato, I dwell in layer 6. I use no other term, because that is the terminology familiar to you. George, we would like to see your spiritual foundation. Veronica, with a triangle upon his forehead. Plato, do not be surprised, my beloved friends. Everything you see was gained through effort. Nothing in the earthly world ever possessed me, although I loved everything, studied everything, and from childhood until I left the earth, I devoted every year of my life to the calling I felt drawing me onward. George, have you returned to earth since then? George, would you ever wish to return? Plato, no, there is no reason. Science has advanced. People have become demanding. They wish to know much without labor. And whenever someone attempts to explore the unknown, he is immediately regarded as insane. I thanked him for his answers. Plato, my brother Callimnus shall conclude our conversation. As for me, I shall remain your friend, your counselor, and your guide, for as long as you continue walking upon the fabric of earthly life. Callimnus, may the one through whom we came to you bless you. I embrace you with a father's love. Socrates, Bucharest, 25 July, 1977. Socrates, silver white, with with a triangle on the forehead and a crown upon his head. Layer 6. We ask the blessing of the Heavenly Father to speak with the renowned Greek philosopher Socrates. Veronica, the path of light opened. Two figures appeared, Calumnus and our guest, Socrates. Calumnus, my children, as you can see, I have been appointed to accompany your invited guests. May you be blessed in the name of the one through whom we have come to you. We greeted both visitors. Veronica, Socrates has the eyes of an eagle. They immediately captivated me. His presence is compelling. His face is gentle, yet majestic and commanding. He is dressed in white, like Calumnus, with a toga thrown over his shoulders. He appears to be about 40 years old. Socrates is preparing to speak. Socrates, my dear friends, thank you for your invitation. It is a noble aspiration. Although I possess no extraordinary powers, I bless, through the one whom I have loved, your desire to know those who accomplished only a little during their earthly lives. I never liked praising either my friends or those eager followers who seem to outpace me. Nor shall I praise you. I warn you, you will encounter impostors, hypocrites, and tyrants, people who barely grope through their own tangled ideas, yet strike with astonishing ease blows intended to destroy. There have always been those who refuse to believe that another person might think differently, or possess the ability to penetrate mysteries that they themselves cannot understand. These people have always existed. They are the shadow standing silently behind you, waiting to strike. That shadow has always had the same name, human envy. How shameful, how humiliating for such inferior spirits, who imprison themselves inside their own limited thoughts, surrounded only by what they personally see and feel. Then, when death removes those barriers, and they behold the beauty of free thought, the beauty of united thought, its flowering, its endless expansion, they require no further suffering. They themselves have drawn the boundaries that now imprison them. I was condemned as an unbeliever, yet I was never an unbeliever. I simply loved the freedom of thought. I wished to remain free in what I believed. I refused to imprison myself within rigid forms or fixed laws, however worthy those laws may have been. It was not because I despised the world around me. Rather, I felt irresistibly drawn towards something freer, greater, more sublime. That longing I could never suppress. It was by following that longing that I ascended to dwell among the great counselors of the sixth realm, a realm of light, joy, elevation, and delight, where 1,000 of your years are like yesterday. How greatly that cup of poison benefited me! It lifted me far higher than I had ever been before. And I shall never leave again, because I have no reason to do so. Those judges who condemned me continue to appear century after century within humanity's long history of spiritual atonement. Often, the spirit feels itself drawn towards something higher, more sublime. Then, with eyes fixed upon the summit, it walks over serpents and dragons, without noticing the danger. Those serpents and dragons are none other than your fellow human beings, whose impure thoughts seek only to poison your aspiration. Therefore, I urge you, look only toward what you know to be sublime. Greatness itself will help you reveal to ignorance the beauty of colors, the beauty of forms, the beauty of that which cannot be touched, yet remains magnificent and uplifting. We experience immense joy whenever someone awakens to the longing for knowledge, to the mastery of thought. Then, the splendor of understanding pours unimaginable riches into that soul, riches for which nothing on earth can serve as comparison. Those who claim they have already embraced the full wealth of knowledge are the poorest of all. They are the most unfortunate. They stagger from side to side, groping, mumbling, often writing books, imagining themselves to be accomplishing something great, while merely swelling with their own foolishness. Shake them only a little, and nothing remains. Beware of such impostors. Descend into yourselves, raise up your sincere aspiration. Then you shall reap its fruits. George, beloved Socrates, tell us something about the life you now live. Who are your companions? How do you spend your time? Socrates, our time has no limits. We have no friends in the earthly sense. Rather, we are one single family, drawn together by the same ideals that inspired us during earthly life. We no longer decipher ideas, because we now live within the world of ideas themselves. We no longer need to study laws, because we are embraced by their power and by their order, feeling like children resting at their mother's breast, without anxiety, without concern. Everything unfolds, not according to our wishes, but according to the eternal movement of evolution itself. Within that delight, we merge, we grow richer, sharing the beauty and original splendor of truth. For us, there is no longer labor, only continual delight, surrounded by the splendor of colors, forms, and the bliss of the music that envelops us. George, tell us a few names of those who belong to your family. Socrates, it would serve no purpose. There are thousands, millions, whom you could never know. Names are unimportant for your work. George, we would like to see your spiritual foundation, just like Plato, with a triangle upon the forehead, and in addition, a crown upon his head. Socrates, the triangle is the third eye, invisible to the earthly body, through which one perceives what others cannot see. The crown was given to me by the cup of poison, at the moment when my earthly body and my spiritual being were separated, against my own will, through the sentence of hypocrites and ignorance, who danced around me, believing they were destroying me. Without realizing it, blinded by hatred, they performed the greatest kindness they could ever have done for me. George, have you returned to earth since then? Veronica, they withdrew. Aristotle, Bucharest, 26 July 1977. Aristotle, Greek philosopher. Brilliant silver with triangles on the forehead. Layer 7. We ask the blessing of the Heavenly Father to speak with the renowned Greek philosopher Aristotle. Veronica, the path of light opened. I can distinguish two men. Callimnus stands beside a magnificent man of about 50 years of age, bearing extraordinary dignity that cannot be expressed in words, radiating kindness, peace, and immense inner strength. He is dressed, like Callimnus, in a white Roman-style robe. I cannot tell what material it is made from. His head is uncovered. He has a short beard, and hair falling to his shoulders. His eyes, his expression, are extraordinary. Callimnus himself seems almost reverent in the presence of our guest. Callimnus, as your old friend and spiritual father, I have accompanied your guest, in whose presence I myself feel so small. I now allow his great thought to flow toward you, revealing only what he believes you are presently able to receive, according to the effort you yourselves have made. Aristotle, my friends, I ask that the love of the one who is the all descend upon you, the one through whom I have come to you. I gladly accepted the union of our thoughts. It gives me joy to see you joining the thousands of seekers who have tried to unite themselves with what I discovered, with what I felt, with what I perceived through the third eye, which only a sincere thinker possesses. Throughout the centuries, those who loved my philosophy called me